This will just take 1 second here. All right.
Okay, somebody's streaming.
That would be me. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Land of Dreams and Nightmares. Esper here, and once again, we have our 3 adventurous souls. Would you guys introduce yourselves real quick?
Which
Okay.
order?
I'll go first. Hi, my name is Dennis, and I play Lykarr Talvantus, the level 5 Storm Sorcerer.
I'm Adam, and I'm playing Kivish Algervarden, the Dwarven Circle of Dreams Druid.
Oh, I'm Warsor, and I play Noxiqual, the human warlock.
And last time, you all traveled a little ways, not by ship actually, but by land. You made your way into Merkelon's Jaw, a peninsula in south, kind of more central Drakengrim. I guess we'll say central eastern Drakengrim. So, is everyone seeing the map here?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, let's get that to stick. Alrighty. So you made your way by land onto this peninsula here. From the fort of Strang's Keep into this kind of valley or gorge type area. There was a guardian, Brecca the Rock, but you all passed her test of might, and she allowed you into the peninsula. You traversed and took the northernmost pass, which led onto this village here, known as Horncomb Lodge. While you were there, there were a few events that took place. There was something to do with Lord Kyleck's 3 daughters, who during the day downstairs appeared as old women, but at night upstairs they were much younger, and attempting to allure these travelers up to have some to enjoy in some delights, but you all resisted. If memory serves me correct, Noxiqual used a suggestion to defeat their suggestion.
I had to because they had charmed / suggested one of my crew members into going upstairs, and he was going to go up there no matter what. But a little luck on the dice and a good suggestion spell managed to persuade him to. He was too tired. He should go back to bed.
And thus, that old dog Tanyan went back to his room. Though you did notice one detail that when they were 2 floors up, they were much younger. And when they were only 1 floor up, they were starting to age some. They were maybe of a middle age.
Yeah.
So something strange is happening either with them or with this location. There are also some accused souls. You went to the sort of... Oh, you okay?
Just knocking over everything.
There were some accused souls, and you went to the sort of the judgment day on the following morning. However, you only saw one of the, I guess we'll say cases. You only saw the first case before you intervened. There were 3. The first was a boy whose name is...
I might actually have this.
I have it actually here, though it might have changed. His name... Yeah, his name is Bowen. They called him a caver, sort of a member of a cave clan, not actually from here in the settlement, and he was accused of thieving, and he was to be executed. There was also a man by the name of Marley, who stands accused of violence, abuse against his wife in particular, and then an elf, a female elf named Valna, who stands accused of heresy. You intervened with the boy here, wanting him to not be executed. And I believe Noxiqual, you were striking up a deal with Lord Kyle.
Do you remember how I did that?
Old Lord Kyleck. Yes, you were
Yes.
able to persuade him into listening to you and halting his proceedings. He was a bit tiffed at first, but once you used your charming ways, he made a deal that if you marry one of his daughters, he will free the boy and let him be your own ward.
That seems reasonable, and I agreed. Although I told him that I'd have to, for the woman as well, to pardon her. I assume he'd need another daughter married. Yes.
Yes, 3 daughters for 3 prisoners freed.
2 daughters for 2 prisoners freed. Then I would assume.
Indeed, 1 per 1.
Yes. I don't suppose one man can marry 2 daughters. I suppose it must be a different man per daughter.
So let's see. When we last left off, he had actually put a kind of a recess to the day's proceedings. So a lot of people, there was a crowd gathered. There's a few different people there. Some are, locals that live in Horncomb Lodge, but he also has a few of his guardsmen. You've seen them already just being in this area. So there was a lot of grumbles and groans, a lot of disappointment that they weren't going to get to see a nice, good beheading and whatever was to happen to the other 2. But Lord Kyleck said that he had to discuss further matters concerning these individuals. So you can speak with him some more here now, if you're so inclined.
Yes, I actually gather my companions, and I think we should go talk to him and just hash this out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you all retreat back into the lodge itself. And again, this is this large, almost beehive-shaped building. And you convene in a chamber that is adjacent to the Great Hall, a personal chamber. So in this room, we have old, gray, white-haired Lord Kyleck. In the room as well are 2 guardsmen. They are middle-aged, kind of salt and pepper haired, skinny, poorly shaven guys. They're known as Ludwig and Grasshopper. They're just, they're just keeping watch over everything. Couple guardsmen. There's also the great nephew of Lord Kyleck, whose name is Maxwell. He's probably in his late 20s. He looks kind of like a rough and tumble sort. And then outside, the 3 daughters are tending to whoever is taking meals there, and there are a few people coming and going that work here in the settlement. So this is not a private meeting, but you are in a kind of a recessed chamber. Oh, you saw fit to interrupt my proceedings, but the proposal you make is one that does strike my fancy a great deal. These old daughters of mine, I always figured they were too sour for any good man to wed, but at this point, I'd rather them not be alone as I pass into my old age. So what do you reckon?
It's quite generous of you, Lord Kyleck. And
My 3 for your 3. I say that's a fair deal as any. You seem like capable men of resource.
Indeed, we are, and it's an honor. However, there are only 2 prisoners that I believe should be pardoned. I believe you should still mete your justice out. I would not interfere with that on the man who showed violence to his wife. That is your own affairs. the two severe punishments, the beheading of the boy.
Barley, heckin' coffee's an old caltrop he is. He'll meet what's due him.
Yes, the boy has so much potential in him. He has a life yet lived. We can mold that.
He seems a little snot in my book, but if you say so, I don't have a way with children. Maybe you do.
Yes. And of course the elf woman, Valna, I believe it was.
Well, she is a strange one. Can't imagine why you'd want her. She speaks of blasphemies. I think she might be touched in the head.
Well, perhaps she might be of some use to us. Sometimes those touched in the head can still serve a purpose.
I don't know if you know, but this one here, he sails on a ship. If she is mad, she can rave to the sea, and it would not make a difference.
Use her as your damn anchor for all I care. Just get her out of this place.
And we can take them far away from here where you don't have to look upon them. And provide husbands for your wife.
Okay.
Your daughters.
Where is your home city where my daughters will be dwelling?
Can you pull up that map again for me? Just a quick little. I was gonna, off the top of his head, just say one of the cities to the west here. Sumnerfield.
Sumnerfield?
Yes.
Okay, Sumnerfield is the largest city in Dreckengrim, though it is not large in a worldly, by worldly comparison. All these cities in this land are relatively small. However, it is the largest of Dreckengrim, well known and the hub of much commerce.
Yes, I have company that I run out of Sumnerfield. I own my own ship, and we travel up and down, carrying supplies to wherever they need to go.
Seems a right good affair you have in working order. And you too. Which of you has designs for hitching with my other girl?
I motion to Lykarr.
That would be me, good Lord Eck.
Are you part of this company of his, this shipping?
Yes, Lord, I am his worthy companion who goes on many adventures with him over the many years.
Very well. And you, dwarven fellow? What? You're not of the mind to couple with those who are not your kind? Can't say I'd want a dwarf myself.
I am not one you would say for the marriage type. Out in the swamp, we have little need of such things, which, as far as Kivish knows, is probably nonsense. I assume people in the swamp get married the normal way, but
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you you do your little mumble. You got your dwarven accent going on there, and he's just kind of I see. Well, fine and well. Let us now proceed to the matter of the dowry. I am willing to provide a purse of 500 silver coins per person, as well as a large barrel of fresh honeycomb. Is this to your liking?
May I choose which among your daughters is my wife?
Oh, yes, of course. Wouldn't want the wrong match made.
It is sometimes customary for an arranged marriage for the father to choose, so I asked.
Well, Jasmine is my firstborn, dark-haired one, and she always smells pleasant. That ought to keep you right satisfied. Freyanna is my second. Fiery in temper and of hair. And Aubrey is my youngest. She, is the more ample one. A walking pantry she is. So he describes the three daughters. You've met with them yourselves, and
I know which I saw them that night. In their various forms. Honestly, I would go with Aubrey.
Very well. Aubrey shall be your bride. And you, Lykarr.
I think I would prefer Jasmine.
Oh, Freyanna's gonna be spittin' jealous. Are you sure you don't have another good man amongst your traveling company?
That would depend on your definition of good.
I turn towards Tanyan, and just give him a side eye with my one good eye.
Tanyan looks at you and he says, I don't think my wife would be too keen on this.
And then I just kind of turn my head away.
Well,
unfortunately,
we'll see what we can do to console Freyanna. That Spitfire might just be roasting alone in her grave one day. Very well. I shall conduct the wedding ceremony at next high moon. Come 5 days' time.
Could perhaps we make the arrangements, leave on our we have a goal to the south of here at the temple, the Ambrosia Temple.
What the hell would you want to go there for?
Oh, we've heard there's things there that only can be found at such a holy place.
Holy, that might be an inaccurate word for these times, what being that they are the dreams of them. He looks around nervously. Her. Yeah, it's little more than a haunted ruin now. I wouldn't go there. So again, we have these contrasting or contradicting perspectives. The daughter of his, I think it was Jasmine you're speaking to, she spoke very pleasantly of the place. She said she hasn't been there in a while, but she spoke very, very nicely of it being a sanctified location, and the healing waters are wondrous.
Protected by the priests and such. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Today I learned that your fancy DM lantern changes colors. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
One man's priest is another man's cultist.
Indeed.
I believe cultist.
Come on in. Get the red light going for a mood effect. All right. So he says, "Oh, I'm no great hurry. I've waited this long. Once you've returned from bumbling around in the Badlands, we shall finalize the preparations.
Excellent.
I will try my best to remember not to chop the heads off of that boy before you get back. Maxwell, do help me remember."
Would it be permissible to see the boy and tell him of what lies in fate for him?
Very well. Maxwell, you and Ludwig, Grasshopper, take them to the jail and show them the boy, show them the elf if they want. Hell, show them anyone they want to speak to.
Thank you, Lord Kyle.
Thank you for your courtesy. And now,
Good health to you, my host.
so he gives you a parting courtesy and mumbles something else, and gets ready to see to the next issue that he has to attend to this morning. So Maxwell Eck, the great nephew of Kyle, son of Brondon, son of Blake, Kyle's brother, he's just like, all right, come this way. He does a little. He thinks this whole thing is kind of silly, and he just kind of starts walking. The two guardsmen get their helmets adjusted, and they wait for you all to proceed.
Does he think it's kind of silly, or is he like, haha, look at these chumps, look at what just happened to them and what they agreed to have foisted upon them?
Yes.
I was actually going to ask him if we're walking, what he thinks of are they his aunts, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Cousins, right? Or no, you're right, aunts, yeah.
Yeah, his three aunts.
Once removed because like they're one level below. Yeah. I don't know.
They're old single women. They collect cats and gossip all day long.
Have you heard any stories about them regaining their youthfulness?
They like to think that they do. The jail's just around back here.
All right. There was no hesitation or anything when he said that he believes that.
He kind of like gave a little smirk, and he just yeah, they think they're all that. And he starts taking you around the building to the back. So in back of the Great Lodge, there is a nearby walled structure. There's a high wall made of brick and some sort of a deserty plaster. The two guardsmen unlock the door. You go inside, and then there's an actual jail structure. They unlock that door. Nice big heavy reinforced thing. You go inside.
Just in case we ever get locked in here.
And small jail. It has just a few cells. There's like 4 cells total. So one is an empty cell, and then there are the 3 prisoners, each in their own individual cell. Dim place. They look like they're just what you'd expect a prisoner to be doing, just kind of sitting there dozing and daydreaming, maybe sleeping. Hey, bang, 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 bang. He like beats on a little bell. Maxwell does. Wake up. Got visitors. Someone wants to talk to you a lot. All right, go on.
I'll walk over to the cells and like study first the woman and then the boy.
The elven woman cracks open her eyes. She just, she stays back and just kind of gives you a little sideways squinted glance.
Elf woman, come here. We wish to speak with you.
A nod to Lykarr. Yeah.
Human man.
Half elf.
What? She squints again.
I believe you have a name, Valna.
Yes, my name is Valna. What are you here for? Is it torture?
No, we may be the answer to your current predicament. We hold the key to your freedom in our hands.
Freedom is not defined by physical location. I am already free. I was free the day that I met her.
Kivish is going to chime in from the back, and I applaud your sense of thinking, but who is her?
Faynel, the prophetess.
Interesting.
You say that one more time into my notes here.
Fainel.
Was the woman you were initially seeking.
Right. Okay.
My
Specifically
character
Lykarr.
never knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mentioned.
She is kind of a wandering healer / prophet. It's a bit of a controversial figure in Drakengrim.
Right. Last seen heading
watched the first
towards
episode.
or past the site of a battle between undead armies.
Yeah.
No, I watched the first episode, so out of character I know and understand. In character, my character has no knowledge because you guys never brought her up.
Well,
so she the prisoner here, Volna, says that she met Fainel at a certain point, and it changed her life.
How did it change your life?
I came to realize the truth that we are the creators, not the gods, not the great old ones, not even the Merqueen herself. It is you and it is I, and we choose what we create.
we are the dreamers, are we not? After all.
I would dream a beautiful dream, but it seems the simple-minded people of this land are fit and content to bicker and fight amongst themselves and dig themselves into little trenches.
Well, if you dream a dream of freedom, my friend here sees fit to arrange for your release.
Your physical freedom, I can attest to nothing. As you say, you are already free in other ways.
She gives you a knowing smile. I knew this would come to pass. I am ready.
Will you accompany
is
us?
she facing us or like sideways?
She's looking straight into the eyes of Noxiqual.
Okay, I can't by leaning around actually see her back, can I?
You cannot.
Okay.
If you leave this place, will you accompany us? Or will you go your own way?
All flows in accordance with the great vortex. I do not fight against it. My path will be with you for a time, but I cannot say for how long.
So long as you do not forget the effort that was put into releasing you. I am a man who has no qualms with, once debts are paid, going our own ways.
The effort was already done. It was inside of me, and now I'm ready to receive that which I have created.
Very well. So, if you'll excuse me, I must speak with the boy.
So you go over to the cage with the boy. He's got his hands now on the the bars there on there's like a little window through the cell doors that you're talking to the prisoners. He's got his he's got like looking up like this, and he's got his hands. He's like, "Let me out of here! You gonna let her out? Let me out!"
Were I to let you out, what would you do?
Whatever you want.
Your lies will have to be much more persuasive than that.
Who are you?
I am Captain Noxiqual.
Okay, can I be a pirate on your ship?
How did you know that I was a pirate?
Those about the only people that sail, right? Pirates? My dad told me about them. Do I get a sword? I'll kill someone.
Perhaps. You may earn your sword in time. I did see potential.
Can we go attack the cities? I'll kill someone and take the stuff. You can have some of it.
So eager. I would be willing to see to your release, but you would have to follow as I say.
Okay, just get me out.
I'm
hungry. Do you have anything to eat?
Do you swear upon your name?
Yeah, I swear.
Upon your name.
Yes. I Bowen, swear to listen to you, my captain.
As he says those words, I cast. Let's do Major Illusion to basically like the darkness, all the shadows like begin to creep up. Basically, I assume we've all seen The Hobbit, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or that scene
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings where Gandalf like seems to like swell in presence. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of making myself kind of swell up a little bit, and like the shadows all kind of creep in a little bit. And I say, Owen, I have your name and your oath now. You will serve me if I grant you your life from this place. Do not think of double crossing me, or I will know. And then like everything kind of resumes its normal.
When you do this, the boy seems to go kind of blank-eyed, and he just is staring at you. And your terrifying presence seems to just kind of flow through him. It's a little bit odd. He doesn't react at all. He just kind of seems to daze out.
Interesting. Is there anything Arcana could tell me about this?
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
I will attempt an Arcana check. 18 total.
You're not sure what it is, but you suspect that someone has tampered with this child in a magical sense. Make a religion check.
Sure thing. Not my forte, but I'll give it a try. Not a great roll. 10 total.
Okay. You can't put your finger on it. Something's off. Something's happened to this child. Something supernatural. Okay, can I go now? I'm hungry.
You will accompany me on my return in 5 days' time, or sooner.
They're gonna kill me! Let me out!
I have arranged for them not to kill you. You will be freed upon our return.
Yeah, they're just telling you that. They're gonna kill me. I know they're gonna do it.
I assure you, were they to break their word with me, the consequences would be far, far more dire.
You talk weird. The elf Valna, she actually responds to the boy and she says, "He is a servant of darkness, but that time will come to its end, and he will have a chance to be reborn, as I was."
We shall see. We shall see.
You look over and you see the two guardsmen, Ludwig and Grasshopper. They're actually like hunkered back behind their shields.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell was that all about? And Maxwell's just like, yeah, so you're a magician? Yeah. Are you done with your tricks?
I'm done for now. Until we meet again, Bowen.
From the last prisoner, he kind of like sticks his head up to the thing and he just like swears at you. He just cusses. I don't know if we have maybe young children watching this here, so I'm not going to say what he says, but he's just like F and S and B and like it's just a string of like swears.
Kivish looks over at his cell and says, "Yes, and your mother was one too."
I'm going to stop in front of his cell and just kind of give him the one evil eye and say, "You think those curses frighten me? Would you like to see a real curse?"
So he kind of like shrinks back, but then he comes back and he's just like, he's just dropping them like F bombs and everything. Make an insight check, if you will.
Yeah, sure. Insight, oh, not so good for me, but I'll make a try. Ooh, I rolled really well. 16 on total.
There's one thing you catch, and it is very subtle. There's just this one little instant in between, some swears and some profanities, where you see something in his eye, and it is a deep sense of despair and sorrow. It's very subtle, and it's very, very quickly, and it's just like right back to this vulgarities. He forms no coherent sentence. It's just swear after swear.
I would like to, just to satisfy my curiosity and all the watchers, cast suggestion on him and suggest you should tell me exactly the nature of your crime that you are here. And I cast suggestion.
Okay.
See if it can overcome whatever's despair has gripped the hold of this man. My DC is 17.
He did not get a 17.
Yep.
He says, there's no way for me to act this out without actually casting, so please pardon my French. He goes like this. Fuck. And he just like shrinks back into his cell and starts crying.
Seems that he...
During all this, Kivish is going to look over at Grasshopper, and ideally before he started casting suggestion, would ask him if he wanted to make a bet about if Noxiqual could get him to do something weird or get him to like stop doing what he was doing and stop acting all tough. And if that happened, then afterward he's just gonna like hold out his hand for the money.
You're basically like, see if I could curse him into like backing down. Yeah.
So this guardsman, he's pretty tall. He's like over 6 feet tall. Just a real lanky, skinny guy. He's got his shield up and he's got his hand on his spear. You can hear the spear kind of like rattling. You can hear the links of his mail rattling a little bit. He's like, okay, well, I don't want any trouble, right?
I'm gonna pat him on what I'm guessing is probably, I don't know, his like waist, and just say like, you know what? Keep it. You need it more than I do.
I'm done here.
All right, are we done? Let's
done.
go.
Yep.
Thank you, Maxwell.
Well, I hope you got what you were looking for here, and try not to die out in the desert.
A sentiment I appreciate.
Does anyone else have any other interest before heading off into the Badlands?
There's some good mysteries going on here, but I feel like I don't want to spend the circular amount of time banging our head into walls to find
Kivish has one
openings.
thing. He's going to stop by the stables and pick up Tynan and, say something along the lines of, I hope they gave you enough to drink. We are going to be going out into the desert again.
Mm-hmm.
And spend some lengthy amount of time talking to his little horse, and if anybody else is watching, it'll be like enough they might be slightly weirded out.
So there's a boy and girl there. Young ones, they might be brother and sister, and they're giving feed and water to all the animals there. Outside, you see that strapping guy with the big axe that you had saw the night before, and he's splitting wood. And as you're getting out of there with your horse, you hear him say, he holds up his axe. And he's like, "This was supposed to be cutting through someone's neck this morning. You guys put an end to that. We'll see what happens in the meantime." And he just goes back like splitting logs.
That's a very thin blade for splitting wood. It is much better at splitting heads. I think you should really have two if you wanted to do both.
Dwarf,
He's
don't tell
gonna
him.
make some like dwarven gestures and comments about axes and things related to axes. And provided that doesn't actually...
I do not believe this man wishes for your unsolicited advice.
Kind of just, rambling to himself about axes as he goes.
So that little exchange kind of peters out. He's just like, oh, whatever, quirky dwarf. And the party is ready then to proceed.
Yep.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yep. Lykarr is anxious to go.
All right. Lykar's probably itching a little bit to see what boons he can benefit from at this temple. All right. So you leave the Horncomb Lodge and are going to be proceeding down here through a Badlands. For a while, it's going to be flanked by mountains on either side. And your ultimate destination being the Ambrosia Temple.
Well, let's...
All right, so you're traveling. Yeah, you'll be traveling for a good couple days here. All right.
Wants to roll anything? Random encounters?
There will be some rolls that will be made. The first day is largely quiet. You pass the fields where there's, workers, miners, whatever crops that can be grown in this arid land. Then you're really out in pure wilderness. You make it out from this canyon type area and are heading across a rocky, scrubby plain. The night comes, you make camp. It's just a cool, windy night. The next day comes and you're proceeding in almost a valley of sorts between these tall, sharp, rocky, mountainous, almost teeth-like protrusions from both the east and the west. Tell me, who would like to make a nature check? What sort of person in this party is going to be a wilderness guide? Perhaps the druid?
I'll go ahead and do that, yeah. I'm actually, ironically,
I can make one, but I think someone else should.
I believe it's, Arcana as my proficient knowledge skill, but I do indeed have a decent bonus to it. And I roll an 18, so I have a 19.
Kivish, as your party is treading in the shadows of these tall, rocky spire mountains, you identify at a good distance that one of the peaks is actually home to a roc's nest. And when I say rock, I do mean the gigantic mythical bird. You know that these things are hungry predators, and especially in a badland such as this, your party might make a delicious meal for such a creature. However, having identified this far in advance, you are able to avoid this. You're able to guide your party around an alternative path.
All right, everyone. Remember, if a shadow blocks out the sun, watch your head.
Just shout incoming, says Kobe the lion.
It's not good to be caught between a rock and a hard place.
Today, actually, there's a few clouds in the sky and it's really windy. This is probably the least hot day that you've experienced so far in Merkelon's Jaw. It's really not too warm, not cold either, just windy, still dry. Your party continues onwards. You come to an area where the ground is very rough. There are a number of large rocks, a number of boulders. You also see that between some of these boulders are sinkholes. It's a little difficult to know exactly which way to go.
How deep of sinkholes and how recent did they open up, and seem like this whole ground is constantly in flux.
You go up and you take a look down the nearest crevice, and it goes down at least a good 30 feet. So think of a number of boulders, but between some of them, the ground seems unstable.
How far across does this extend?
This entire area goes on for a good ways. You don't see any way around it, as this region is fairly narrow. But it looks like it's going to be stretching on for a good mile or so.
It's almost like volcanic hummocks. Huh.
Mm-hmm. There is a little bit of a sulfury smell in the air here.
These boulders seem stable.
As far as you can tell, you do see some areas that are crumbled, but the majority of the rock formations seem to be sturdy masses that are protruding up from deeper under the ground.
Are we able to?
You can even consult with the dwarf here, and the dwarf's going to tell you, yeah, most of these rock formations themselves are going to be stable. It's the ground between them that is giving way.
Can we walk on the rock?
Possibly. I mean, you could certainly climb up there and take a look.
I think it's worth getting a higher vantage, at least on the first couple boulders. In worst case, we have to climb back down and use the treacherous, roads, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's kind of open here. So you all let me know what exactly you'd like to try.
Noxiqual would like to try to climb.
Okay. So if you're just doing regular climbing, just make an athletics check.
Yep. I unfortunately only got a 5.
All right. Whilst climbing, you have a little mishap. You have suffered 6 points of falling damage throughout your attempts. Oof!
Kivish is also going to be climbing and is going to hopefully not get hit by a falling Noxiqual.
Sure, that's fine. The roles that we're doing here are somewhat of an abstraction. They represent your character making effort over more time than just a simple little one-round deal.
All right.
What do you have in mind?
I guess maybe some rope-aided climbing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You just have a standard rope?
Yeah.
All right. So you kind of look around, trying to see, what's going to be best for this rope? Do you have anything else other than just rope?
Yes. So, in addition to the rope itself... Oh, wait, that's right. An Explorer's Pack doesn't actually have any kind of pythons or whatever. So, let's see.
Okay, so you don't have a dedicated climbing gear. Do you have anything specific that you're doing with the rope?
Yeah, he's gonna tie it to an arrow and try and find some place on the top of the rock that he can, get it lodged into.
Make a dexterity check.
All right, that I am particularly good at, or relatively.
Noxiqual is just kind of watching this with a kind of "what are you doing" kind of look.
Well, he gets a 13.
Okay, so you're in the midst of trying to unravel some strand of rope to secure something to an arrow. It's a little bit tricky for you. You take some shots, the arrow breaks. You just get kind of frustrated by that plan. Lykarr, do you have any bright ideas?
I think Lykarr is going to give it a try to climb up, to at least get on top of the first rock to maybe see a clear path across the sinkhole area. So.
Okay.
We are of similar mind, Lykarr.
Yeah. And
can I assist him with even just like a foot up kind of like situation?
So first, I would like Noxiqual to make an athletics check.
See if I can assist. Yep. Wow. The dice just don't like me on athletics checks. I am trained in it, But that's only a 3.
Lykarr, make an athletics check with disadvantage.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
Lykarr.
That's all right. 14.
Hey, nice.
Lykarr struggles, but ultimately is not able to scale the boulders. You did not get injured, though.
These are tough boulders.
Your ally, for all of his good intentions, really just ended up getting in the way or frustrating you a bit there.
Well. Suppose it might be a little difficult without some magic aid.
Magic always has some opportunities or some interesting effects. Does anyone want to just try to walk through it? Does anyone want to try to just guide their party through? You could make a survival check.
Yeah,
Try to safely guide your party through.
Kivish will go ahead and see what happens and provided all goes well, guide the rest of them.
Do have some
survival.
Yeah, some last ditch efforts if a sinkhole happens.
Well, we can always maybe tie a rope to his. Is the pony pretty strong?
Relatively.
That it could hold a person from falling.
Yeah.
Could also drag a person into falling.
Does someone want to tether themselves to the tar horse?
Although maybe he could tether if he wants to go first.
Yeah, Kivish is gonna walk across and probably have himself tied to Tynan, and then once they're across, they can figure out some way to tie everyone to something. Or,
Okay, so the Dwarven Druid and his pony tether up. He's going to lead the way, and the rest of you are going to follow behind.
Yeah.
Sure.
What's the diameter of these sinkholes, would you say?
On the small side of things, just maybe a few 5 feet or so. On the wide end, double or triple of that.
Okay.
None of them are making massive crevices, but they are certainly enough that a person or a horse could fall in. So the party readies up. The druid proceeds ahead. The two sailors are coming up in the back, mumbling in maybe a little superstitious phrases for luck.
I'm preparing myself to have to use magic to save myself from a fall.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Kivish.
All right, survival.
Everybody's lives are in your hand. Make survival check.
Ooh, that's not great. I roll a 7, so that is a total of 13.
Okay. 13 is not terrible, but it is not as good as one might have hoped for.
Right.
So you are leading your party through this patch of boulders and sinkholes. Here and there, you do see little wisps of sulfury steam coming up from the ground where cracks are forming. You tread carefully, and you use the best of your survival knowledge to guide your party as safely as you can. You've nearly reached the far side of this region, and you're feeling pretty good. You know, maybe you almost want to turn around and be like, "See, guys, you're in good hands with me." When the ground caves in before you. Actually, I'm going to roll a little random thing here to determine who's in there with you. So we've got you, and then aside from you, we have a possible Noxiqual, Lykarr, Tanyan, and Kobe. All right, so there are 4 potential people. I'm just going to roll one other. That is Noxiqual.
Oh, of course it is.
All right. Kivish and Noxiqual make dexterity saving throws.
I was going to say I can make that saving throw for you. Seeing as how I was kind of half expecting something like this, I had something ready to go. Is there time to cast a spell at all? I assume no.
And if it's a reaction, you can.
Yeah, I figured, like, I want to know how fast the cave-in is. Is it, like, instantaneous, or is it one of those crack, 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 kind of things?
Gotcha. Fairly instantaneous. You need a reaction spell.
Then I'm just going to make my dex saving throw and see what happens.
Okay.
Cool. I didn't do too well. I got a 10.
I got a 15 total.
Okay. And also Tynan, the horse.
All right. Believe it or not, his dexterity is actually better than mine, and he, wow, got a not natural 20.
Okay, he got a 20. I would also like you to make a strength check for Tynan.
Okay.
The rope.
Stupid dice getting stuck. 1.
Oh, jeez.
Some stuff, but natural
The
1.
dice giveth and the dice taketh.
Oh boy. Okay. So here's what happens. The ground crumbles away, and really it's just surface, and below that there was this crack that had probably already opened up long ago.
Right.
Noxiqual, you got the 15, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Noxiqual, you like leap back out of pure survival instinct. You kind of, probably land on your back or on your ass, and you're like, oh, whoa. You're bare, like you're at the edge, like it's crumbling away at your
hat.
feet. You catch your hat,
yep.
And you barely save yourself. Kivish falls, like you're just in the middle of the whole ground that's giving way, and you feel that, and you feel the ground just crumble, and you start plummeting, and then the rope goes taut, and you hear Tynan up there like, and he's digging his hooves in, and then he goes over the edge.
Kivish! I'll shout as I see if I have anything that'll save your ass.
Do I take damage, or is this like how deep are
This
we
is the
talking?
sound of damage right here. You fall down 30 feet. You and Tynan each take 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, I got nothing for that.
Slam at the bottom.
Well, at least the pony didn't fall on you.
I guess I should have rolled for that.
Nice one, Dennis.
I'm gonna look up and shout. So, as I was saying, do be careful. Some parts of this land might give way underfoot.
Even after falling down a giant hole, he still comes off like he knew exactly what he was doing.
He is one with the land.
I crawl to the edge of the hole and look down. Do you need any help getting out of there, lad?
That would be nice.
Don't know if we can get your horse out, but
I mean, he's tied to the same rope I am.
How far is it to the bottom of the hole?
30 feet.
30 feet, jeez. Yeah, I look back to Lykarr and my men and say, well, do you have any rope?
I have 50 feet of hempen rope.
Well, we can definitely get him out of here then, out of that hole.
The men look at each other and they say, we brought the sack here. Okay, and they start going through, and you hear like boom, boom, king, kong, like hit the cups and stuff. Okay, here we go, and they've got themselves a rope as well. So just the stand, I think it's a 50-foot coil. All right, so sounds like they're lowering some ropes down to you there, Kivish.
Yep.
There's going to be kind of a heave-ho, and the Kivish is raised up out of the pit by the men. There's like 4 guys, so it's... You trust them? They seem pretty capable.
We should pull them up 25 feet and then let go.
Yeah, you're like almost at the top. He's like, whoa! Just kidding.
We let it slide like 5 feet and then catch it again and be like, toss up the purse.
All right, now the 5 of you go to work pulling up the pony. I think that ought to work. 5. Do we have any particularly strong ones here?
Strong.
Probably Kobe the Lion's.
Yeah,
He's not called the Lion for nothing.
Yeah, I hope he's the strong one because I'm not.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give it a little roll. Should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything other than a natural 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
So
Did you roll on
it's called
God
Lion
damn it.
because he cheats at dice, I assume.
God damn it, Esper.
It was a natural 1.
Why would you even say that?
Oh, this
how
poor
this-
horse. Okay, so
Do we get up like 30 feet and then drop it?
not the whole 30 feet, no. Wham! Tynan takes another 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
All right.
Oh, my hands! Oh, my hands! He's got Kobe's got rope burns on his hands now. Ah! Oh!
Noxiqual just shakes his head. How much do you love that horse?
Enough that he's hoisting him out right now because he got out and now he's pulling on the rope. And
I mean, you're trying to hoist him out.
true.
All right, so if you want to heal Kobe's hands or just cast healing on him, you guys can give it another go as a team, or he can sit out and the 4 of you can give it a try.
Does anyone have healing?
I'll spend a die of my Balm of the Summer Court on him.
Yeah, just one little die will do it.
All right, that was a 4.
You have soothed the rope burns in Kobe the Lion's hands. Hey, look, I'm real sorry about that. I didn't mean to get your horse in a bunch of hurt there. I'll do better this time. I promise.
Let's stop wasting our time on this horse. Get him out of here.
All right, Captain, you get the team going. Heave ho! And the pony is hoisted back up to safety.
Excellent.
It immediately goes and starts nuzzling you, Kivish.
It's gonna. Okay.
He nuzzles you right into the next sinkhole. Not again!
All right, so there was a bit of fuss there, but you all passed through the boulders and the sinkholes. At this point, it's about maybe an hour or so before sunset.
Was that half a milestone, you think?
Oh, you all actually, you're about ready to get a milestone. There's one more thing we're gonna do.
Okay.
All right, so you're pressing on with the sinking light of the sun starting to pass through the rocky teeth of Merkelon's jaw. And you just come across one thing. There is the body of a gnoll. You all know what the gnoll is, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a flayed and crucified gnoll corpse. And its arms are outstretched. It has nails through the, basically through the elbow joints. But the hands are actually protruding outwards, frontwards. And there is a snake's egg in each hand.
I have to ask, is he still alive?
As you approach, it speaks. Does anyone by chance speak the Gnoll language? It's a very rare one.
It is its own language?
It is.
If it was something written, I could read it, but I only speak Primordial and Common, which I'm sure will never come up.
Okay, so I imagine their language has some kind of root with Primordial. Make an intelligence check.
Well, I speak Primordial.
Okay, you can make one too.
I do have a positive to my intelligence.
It wasn't a druid, was it?
Nope.
Okay.
All right. 16.
14.
16 and 14. Okay. So this thing looks totally dead. It looks like a corpse. I mean, it's flayed. Its head is basically a skull. But then when you approach, it stirs ever so slightly. And there's a voice that comes out. Noxiqual, he said in there, egg, something egg, something you, something else. You're not quite sure what he said there.
Very helpful.
So,
And he's holding 2 snake eggs.
what
That
did
he
you
is.
say?
Well, I think what I'd like to do.
The wind howls ominously.
Oh,
The dying sun's light casts deep shadows upon this Gnoll corpse.
what did he say?
Something about eggs, but I couldn't make out anything more. I would say, however, that did not Brecca tell us of 2 gnolls that came? Did they come through here?
Actually, Brecca spoke of dwarves. Specifically, they were the Fingard, the dwarves that are like these swamp warriors from Norgal's Rock. But they did not actually come out onto the peninsula. They were more passing by near the entrance to the canyon, and they just had a little chat with her.
Now I remember. That's right. All right. Then I don't think we've heard anything about gnolls in this area.
I mean, there are gnolls that are known to live in some bits of more southernish parts of Drekengrim. They're not a very common race here, but you've heard, maybe a rumor or two.
I'll stand back 30 feet away from it, and I'll use Mage Hand to grab one of the eggs from its right hand.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Sure.
I'm going to stand back a good 20 feet.
How's a 14 work?
Excellent. And that you said it was the right hand?
The right hand.
Okay. So you
the wrong hand.
You swipe the snake egg out of the hand, and then the hand like snaps shut, like it's trying to catch your mage hand, but you got the egg.
Mm-hmm. That's how you use your wits to overcome problems. I will levitate the egg kind of like closer so I can examine it without actually touching it.
Decent sized, about the size of a chicken egg, and it has that tan coloration, somewhat leathery texture of a reptilian egg.
Does the trying to think what to call this effigy speak again?
Does not.
Well, all I know is that something about egg. It had 2 eggs. I'd made a choice. There was no more information forthcoming. Any of you have any special insights, any knowledge of religious or arcane matters that this might pertain to?
Well, I do have a proficient knowledge in Arcana. So yeah, I might take a look at this egg and like hold it up to the light and try and handle it and see what's up, if it's a normal snake egg or if there's something weird about it.
I mean, I can do Arcana or one of the others, but Arcana is my specialty.
Okay. All right, Kivish, what did you come up with?
Okay. That is a natural 20. Plus some things. Plus 4, so it's 24.
You have determined there is nothing magical about this egg at all, though it does seem to have been prepared in a way. You can tell that someone has worked on it or with it. Maybe even an alchemist or something. But you do not believe this is a magic item itself.
That reminds me of something, but
However, I will give you this. The egg, in the other hand, you do suspect that there's something magical about it. It's just tiny little details, maybe a bit in, I don't know. You've heard of these desert tribes that they are able to prepare special curatives using eggs. They look very similar, but you are certain that the egg in the left hand is a curative.
Look over at Noxiqual and say, you want the other one. This one is just an egg.
I see. I'll make a
just a quick little amend. It is more than just an egg. You can tell someone has altered, tampered with, apothecaried. Something's happened with this egg, but you do not believe it is magical in the strict sense of things.
Might be some sort of thing akin to alchemist fire, only with an egg or something like that.
It might be.
Some foul-smelling concoction. But, I will make a gesture at the other egg, like, come to me. And do I need a sleight of hand for this one?
Yeah. You want to try to steal the next one?
Yes, I do.
All right, go for it.
30 feet away.
Okay.
Wow. I've rolled more low rolls tonight than I've seen in a long time. That's a nat 1, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to say that isn't.
Okay.
So,
The hand snaps shut. The egg is, you're not able to steal the egg.
okay. So the hand is shut around me. Did I catch anything?
Something about, you heard something like done or completed or over or something. But he said more. I mean, you only caught one word out of that. Maybe he said our deal's over, or it's over, or you're done, or you're done for. Maybe it's a completely other context, and you're not sure.
Maybe you're going over like gangbusters because that was a great idea. Also, while he's doing that, I'm going to spend 2 more of my Balm of the Summer Court on myself. So that's a total of 6.
As you are applying your poultices there is a couple more little whispers out of the dry, dead mouth of a flayed gnoll.
Anything?
You didn't get anything there.
I'll try saying something in primordial because that's the closest tongue I speak to this.
Okay, what would you like to say?
Can another take your test?
There's no response.
Worth trying. I'm considering just hacking the hand off, but it'd probably offend some sort of gods, spirits of this area.
Strange and unknown deities and powerful ancient ones of the Badlands. What eyes could be upon you at this very moment?
I hacked the hand off. No, just kidding.
Does anyone else have any further concern with this strange encounter?
So are gnolls native to this area?
You believe they are. They're not very common, though.
Right. They usually live in tribes or packs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one by itself, crucified with snake eggs in its hand, is strange.
It
seems
is.
like somebody wanted to make some kind of magical charm or ward or something, and it spoke the Gnoll language rather than the language of somebody who perhaps, put it there. Like, desert elves or whoever lives here. They didn't speak that language. So, in theory, it could have been something like a self-sacrifice from a tribe of gnolls to try and, ward something away or do something in general.
It might be. It's not a bad theory that you have.
Kivish is gonna wonder that, but probably not actually act on it unless it does something else.
It does not. Just hang in there. It's not doing anything.
Noxiqual, before proceeding closer to it, will cast protection from evil and good on himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he'll walk towards it and then past it, assuming nothing happens.
Nothing happens. So you all make it around. Night is fast approaching. Do you wish to make camp?
Yeah, I mean...
Ugh, my legs are aching, says Daniel.
Something tells me yes, but no fire.
So much walking around on land. Ugh.
Yeah, the no fire sounds like a good idea.
This is why I prefer travel overseas, but do not worry. We'll be back aboard the ship in no time at all.
I must say, even a ship is more solid ground than I am used to.
And once we have a couple jugs of that healing water, I'm sure we'll make a pretty copper back in town.
Are you sure you know what you are messing with?
Don't worry about me. I've dealt with things far more sinister than healing water in my time.
Well, as long as it does not come back to me that you are upsetting the natural balance of things.
So you all make a camp, but without any fire. It's pretty chilly, but you all have fared through far worse. Oh, by the way, you all did achieve a milestone there.
Sweet. I am up to 6 milestones.
I have 9. Does that seem right?
I was going to say 9.
Apparently, I'm down quite a few.
I think we got 3 in the first session.
1.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I can make those up before too long.
I've got some dice rolling here. Give me just a second.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah.
Keep in mind
there's going to be a thing.
Dark vision 120 feet.
Okay.
If DM starts rolling dice and doesn't tell you what they're for, that's when you know something's up.
Okay. So what are there? 5 guys total, right? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Watch it be me again.
Nope. All right. I would like everybody to make a perception check with disadvantage.
Oh man, that would have been amazing if it wasn't with this.
20.
See how much perception this character
16.
has. 8. Nice. With disadvantage of 16 is pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I get an 11.
Right, 11?
I would have had a 19.
I would have had 21 if not for disadvantage.
16 for Lykarr.
16 for Lykarr. Okay, thanks, guys.
Did you roll for Tanyan and
Yep. Yeah, I've already got all that rolled. So you all are sound asleep. Tanyan's on watch at the moment. you are awakened by a blood-curdling screech, a yell of pain and terror that quickly snaps like a crunching bone sound, and it is over like that. You all jolt awake, and there is a large feline, a large, like the biggest, I don't even know if anyone's seen a lion before, but it's a lion sort of thing, but it's really big, and it has these big fangs, especially there are two big protruding saber-like fangs. It has Danyan, like, he's just like hanging limp and dead, and it has like, it's grabbing him by the back of his neck, and it's like carrying him off. What do you do?
On my watch. All right. Initiative, I assume, or can we just take an action?
All right. So go ahead and roll up some initiative.
What's a nat 20? Of course, I roll it on initiative, not attack roll. 23.
There we go. Yeah, I got a natural 20 as well.
All right, he's got the highest.
I think he does. Mine with it, nat 20 becomes a 22. This is 23.
23. Kivish, okay.
No, I have a 23.
He has a 23, yeah.
Oh, okay, 23 Nox.
Lykarr comes in with a 1.
Woo! All right.
Okay, you were having a good dream about your new
Bride to be.
Bride to be.
Yeah. Who am I missing here? I'm missing Kivish.
At 22.
Okay,
Missing
22.
Kobe.
Okay, that's what I got confused on.
Yeah.
Nox, you look and you see your trusty crewman, and he is a goner, and this saber-toothed tiger is just like dashing off in the night with its prey hanging out of its mouth. What do you do?
I leap up and basically draw my blade. Is it within still, it hasn't gone away distance, like I can reach it?
It is 50 feet away from you.
Oh, well, then that's not really happening, I'm guessing. I mean, honestly, it's going to get away. There's no way I can catch something on 4 legs like that. I will just shoot Eldritch Blast at it, I guess, as I swing my blade and fling some blasts of force and shadow.
All right, go for it.
Sure, let me just check something. Does the display curse only? No, I have to be within 30 feet of them. Nope. All right. Yep. Just doing the thing. I roll both attacks at once. Wow. I rolled poop. I assume that. I mean, I do have a significant bonus. It's a 14 hit?
It does.
Wow. Well, that was the higher of my 2 rolls, so yes.
Okay. What's the other one?
It was a nat 1.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna roll the damage. 9 points of force damage.
Nox jolts awake, springs to his feet, draws his blade of dark metal, gives it a swipe, a shard of black force strikes the tiger. A muffled roar kind of thing while its mouth has its prey in it. Kivish, you got the next go.
Where'd he go?
Kivish.
Adam's muted and not on video.
Kivish reels in bewilderment.
He shouts a dwarven profanity, gathers Tynan, and is gonna start slowly backing away.
I mean, it's 50 feet away from you.
Right,
It appears to be fleeing with its catch.
Yeah. He's not really going to try and stop it. I mean, Tanyan was a nice guy, and it's a shame that he's getting eaten. But I mean, not really much you can do now.
The tiger,
when it happens to you.
All right, the tiger continues making its way out into the dark of the night. Lykarr, do you have any stake in this? Do you want to pursue it? You want to light up the area, cast a spell?
How far away is it now?
Let's see. You've got 60 feet of dark vision. It's definitely beyond that. Nox, you have 120 feet, right?
That's correct.
All right, so it's beyond 120 feet. It's slipped away into the darkness.
Yep.
I mean, you can probably hear it's like paw. The sounds like it's paw prints as it's dashing off into the night.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to help, but I don't know if chasing a giant saber tiger in the pitch black of night is going to be a super good idea.
Nope. He's dead already, and you guys don't have the means to catch that thing, unless we pursued it on a long hunt.
Yeah.
Which
Kobe, who is not gifted with such night vision, probably can't see very well or very far. And he's just kind of like doing this number, like, oh, what happened? Oh, Tanya, no.
I'll just grab him by the scruff of the neck and like yank him to his feet now and be like, get a hold of yourself. Tanyan's dead, but we're still alive.
Oh, that thing's gonna come for me next. I know it is.
Don't make yourself a weak prey and it won't come for you.
Make an intimidation check, and I will give you advantage.
Oh, cool. All right. Let's see. I am trained in it. 18. You've
commanded this sod before, and he listens to your orders. Okay. He draws out his. He probably has like a saber or something, maybe like a curved short sword, cutlass. He's got it out on the ready. Come back, you mangy cat! I'll skin your belly wide open.
At least here you don't have to be worried about being sucked underneath the waves.
Oh, dang it, I can't believe he's gone. Here's to you, buddy. He just takes a chug from a wineskin and talks about some memories of their times together sailing around the coasts and the coastal waters of Drekengrim.
Well, it's a shame. It's half the weight in water that won't be brought back, but don't worry, you'll be paid well, Kobe.
Okay, whatever you say. Aye, Captain. I'm behind you.
Excellent.
The night passes. Rest comes uneasy after the attack of the great cat beast. But morning breaks, and you all have completed a long rest.
All right.
Sweet. All right, I'm ready to proceed. I assume this is day 2 or 3?
Day 3.
Yep.
All right, we should be getting close to the temple.
Yeah. Yeah, the temple will be drawing near this morning or this afternoon. So you wake. Tell me about provisions, water, food. How are you guys keeping up?
Let's see. I'm good for now, yeah.
You doing good? Eating rations, drinking wine, water skins?
Mm-hmm. We refilled at the lodge.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you probably have enough on you easily for a good good few days here.
I do know that it was like a very dry, arid kind of region, so
It is. It's been dry. These last few days have been very windy. They haven't been incredibly hot, so that's good, but it's still dry and windy, so it's still drying you out fairly well. But yeah, with the provisions you have with you, you feel confident that you're good to last for a good few days here. By late morning, you are arriving at the grounds of the temple. I have a nice little icon drawn here, and it looks much like this. There are some standing columns and spire type stone adornments, a peaked ceiling, great stairs leading up into the temple proper, with a number of pillars supporting the whole of the structure. This is a relic of an ancient time, an architecture that has not been seen in this land for many a century. It was crafted with a master's hand and has stood the test of time. It also appears that some bits of it are a little what's what I'm looking for here? It's not disrepair. The repair is good. Kind of unkempt. Dust, gravel. It looks like it hasn't been swept or upkept in some time. The stairs to the temple loom just ahead of you.
Can we look to see if we can see any tracks of anybody coming or going?
You see no tracks, but if you'd like to make a perception check to scrutinize and scan ever so detailed.
Okay.
14.
12.
14, 12. You're looking around. You do not see any tracks. You see the vague remnants of an old footpath, but even that doesn't look to have been used in quite some time.
It's much what I expected. A rundown temple from a long forgotten age. I wonder if the healing waters be somewhere just within the temple. Anyone might see or get at them. Or if we'll have to delve a little deeper.
Kivish is going to look at Lykarr and say, how are you doing?
I appear to be holding well. I have not had any, I guess, episodes, we would call them, in the last couple of nights, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, since the encounter with the Dark Rider, where you commanded the storm and nearly blew him to smithereens, you haven't had any further episodes.
Oh, okay.
Judging by that little exchange there, my Captain Noxiqual kind of leans and strokes his chin like, the truth comes out. It's you that we're here for.
Yep. Lykarr, do you reveal to him the thing, the mark?
The affliction?
The affliction?
Sure, I'll lift my shirt up and show him what I have there.
Underneath, you've got one of those affliction t-shirts.
Oh, no.
I like that band, too. I lift my shirt up. There's my affliction.
Bro! And they chest bump. Okay. Yeah, underneath the sorcerer's garment, you see a blackish mark upon his skin, easily the size of a hand. At first glance, it's a random and just kind of ugly shape. But as you look at it a little bit more, it almost seems like it's some beast or animal, a horrible thing.
Some sort of curse, perhaps?
Some sort of curse, perhaps.
All right. I can see why you'd be seeking the healing waters.
You've sailed around quite a bit, Noxiqual.
Yes.
You have heard of another person that this happened to.
Ooh, okay.
it's not anyone that you personally knew, but you pick up on different rumors sailing from port to port, and when the Mer Queen is in the throes of her nightmares, strange manifestations happen across the land. And you've heard of someone this happened to before, and the local cult of the Horned Hunger had the man in seclusion, and eventually it spread across his body, and the guy was starting to go mad, and they killed him thinking that they were going to end any potential spread of this blight. But when they killed him, a horror erupted as though a larva finally birthing in its adult form out of the husk, and this horror decimated the settlement.
I've seen and heard tell of a mark like that once before. There's a story told among my folk, my circles, that there was a man that was accursed by the Mer Queen's dreams when she was in her nightmares, and this manifested on him in a mark similar to that. The horned...
The Horned Hunger is one of the great old ones that some people pay homage to.
The Horned Hunger cultists kept him secluded, and eventually, when it spread too much and drove him mad, they thought to sacrifice him and end his blight. But it in fact released the evil inside him out into the land. I believe you are host to such an evil.
Lykarr, as he tells you this, you have a few little flashes, little flashbacks of these nightmares that you yourself have experienced. And the last one that plays through your mind is this malformed nightmare beast thing that erupted out of your corpse in a dream. And it is howling as it gallops, lurches its way northward. As if it's heeding the call of the Mer Queen herself and going to join her ranks. All right, so the temple is silent other than the wind blowing between the columns. Do you enter?
Kivish will proceed.
Okay.
I'm not leaving till I get what I came here for.
You walk up the steps, large, like wide flight of steps, and enter into the temple. First, there is an antechamber with a washing basin and a few jars of anointing oil. You can see through an archway that there's a huge sanctum beyond the antechamber.
Is there any writing?
There are some scrawlings on the wall, given in tribute to a god named Morpheus.
Sounds about right.
I read them, and then I'll see if I know anything about Morpheus.
All right, go ahead and make a religion check.
Um, 16.
Oh, the gods are from a much older time. You know that there was once the worship of a pantheon. A god named Morpheus was part of it, a god of slumber, of dreams, and of healing.
It would seem that some of the worshippers here give praise to Morpheus, god of slumber, dreams, and healing. I'd motion towards some of the scrawlings.
That's a nice nod out of character to the actual Greek god Morpheus.
Thank you. I thought it would be quite appropriate for this land here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought
So,
that was the guy from the Matrix.
Well, that's what he's named after. Because the Matrix is like a dream, and yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also,
So you all look at these, these engraved words there on the, the stone slab panels of the antechamber. They're rather time worn, but they're still readable. And yeah, it's prayers and homage and praises to the god Morpheus. Come in to the Ambrosia Temple and release your troubles, your woes, your afflictions. Give praise and sacrifice, gain the favor of Morpheus, and walk from here, refreshed and invigorated anew.
Come taste of our combination of, what is it, mayo and marshmallows and like jello.
Which is actually named after the mythological ambrosia.
The mythological food of the gods, yeah.
Yes.
Although I can't say I've ever had it, and I can't imagine it tastes half as good.
you said there's some oil here?
Yes, there's a wash basin. It's actually dry, but it's there. And there are a few jars of some basic anointing oils.
I'll try to go through some motions.
Okay, so you apply some oils to yourself. The scent is rather pleasant, smelling of some kind of like a spicy scent mixed with jasmine.
I imagine it's not
maybe
bad
with
after a week on the road.
Yeah, it does not smell like sweat and dust.
Yep.
All right, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna pocket a jar or two of that oil if it seems like it's in okay condition and or not the kind of oil that would go rancid.
The oil does seem to be in decent condition. It's definitely not the freshest, but it's not rancid either. It seems like something that's meant to last for quite a time.
Right. Like probably not a food oil, but some other plant-based thing.
I mean, you with your dwarven stock, you might douse a bit of it if you, if you had to in a pinch. These other sorts might get a bit of a bellyache from eating that.
I'll store it next to my cedar oil then for future ritual use.
All right.
We'll proceed forward. We need to get this healing water if it's readily available.
You make your way into the sanctum. It is a huge sanctum lined with pillars on all sides. At the far end, there is a dais and a large throne. Atop the throne is a great statue of a winged man. You also see there is another entryway, small one at the very back that seems to lead into a different area. In the center of this sanctum, there are steps leading down into a pool, which is entirely dry.
Lykarr.
Well, I would like to scan the area to see if we can notice anything, and then we're going to move forward. Lykarr is not happy to see the dry pool. Indeed.
Lykarr must be rather disappointed. You scan the area, and you do see at the foot of this throne winged man statue, there are a few people or maybe bodies lying on the ground.
Have they been there for a long time?
You take a close. Do you want to get up closer? You're at the far end of this rather huge sanctum.
Oh, I guess I will cautiously approach.
Okay. You get within where you can see them pretty well, and there are actually three. There is a man, and there are 3 men. One of them is notably older. So 2 young men and 1 older man. They are wearing robes, as is befitting of a temple. If they're dead, they died recently. They don't have rot on them. The statue is a tall, handsome man, godlike. You imagine it is the god Morpheus. It has wings. The statue looks like it's made out of marble, and the wings are notably darker, very dark wings. Its head is reclined back, and on the head is a diadem of silver and amethyst.
So who's going to be Abu from Aladdin looking at that crown with like those hungry, that's a big jewel eyes?
Apparently you.
I have no need of such things. If it were made of wood and good for use in the swamp, maybe, but
I would like to examine the pool area specifically to see if there are any pathways where the water might have flowed into it or out of it.
You see none.
So
the pool is bone dry. A little bit of dust is all that's left at the bottom.
What about altar?
There is an altar. It is before the statue that is seated on the throne. The altar surface also is covered in a layer of dusty film.
I'm gonna go over and examine the altar. Usually such places have little compartments or something in them.
The altar is completely bare at the moment.
So these maybe dead guys, they're just sort of lying around, or are they posed in a particular position?
There's no posing per se. They are lying at the foot of the statue.
Okay, I see. Almost as if they were like groveling or praying to it before whatever happened to them happened.
Do you want to get closer? Anybody?
Yeah, I'll go slightly closer.
Where are you getting closer to?
Statue.
Okay, I'm like right by the altar. Where are they in relation to each other?
Pretty close. So it sounds like you all are getting pretty close, but not right up on these 3 people on the ground. They appear to be sleeping. You look and you can see their chests are moving. They're breathing.
Well, time to end that. Chop off their heads. Just kidding.
I give one of them a soft kick.
All right. You nudge. Nothing happens.
I have some thoughts here. This temple be the place that I've heard be one of the few places where the gods will hear your prayers. And seeing as it's a temple to an ancient one named Morpheus, perhaps one might offer a prayer to him to tell us how to get the holy waters.
Make a wisdom check.
Sure. Oh, wisdom. Ugh. That's my worst thing. Yep. I rolled, it's a total of 4.
You feel a little bit odd attempting to commune with the divine.
I mean, I'll still try it anyways.
Whatever you were hoping for, it does not happen. Kobe rubs his hand. Kobe rubs his hands a little bit nervously, looking about. Ooh, this place gives me the spooks.
I feel like I'm in an adventure game, and it's like, whatever you were hoping for, it does not happen whenever you click on something that you're not supposed to interact with.
Does anybody else want to pray or do anything at all?
Yeah, if he articulated that plan out loud, then Kivish will follow suit.
Okay.
Morpheus, god of dreams, May your own slumbers be always full and never empty. And please give my friend some water. He is sick and could use a drink. If you would do so, that would be very nice.
There'd be another idea I have here. I don't think you'll be liking it.
All right, so hold on to the idea you've got there. Kivish, make a wisdom check.
Wisdom. All right, I'm actually good at that. Ooh, that's a 13 plus. Is it proficient or no?
Just a wisdom check.
So 16.
16. You say your prayer and you give your respects to the god of the temple. You feel a bit of a sense of peace. The image that comes to your mind is that of Morpheus, tall, dark-winged one with the diadem of amethyst and silver, with his arms outstretched, his wings as well, inviting you, offering you his embrace. You feel slightly drawn towards the statue itself. Do you follow through with this
I know
urge?
how I'm about to end up. Yeah, I do.
You approach the statue and you lay your hands upon it. A warm sense radiates through you. You are quite certain that this is indeed a miraculous and wondrous statue that is here. You know this sensation. It is the sensation of healing energy flowing through your body. Make a medicine check.
Interesting. All right. Okay.
I've been fooled into thinking that we're being healed.
Well, I got a 19, so that's a 21. Whatever is going on with that.
You remain in contact with the statue, and with your sort of healer's knowledge combined with the very sensations that are flowing through you at the moment, you know it inside of you that this is not merely the statue of Morpheus. This is the god Morpheus in front of you that you are in direct contact with.
I can taste purple.
I was about to
And
say
you feel his pull, his call, calling you into the dream realm. Do you follow?
That's going to be my suggestion. Someone go to sleep.
Yeah, he's going to do it.
Okay. Do you will your beast to go with you?
No, he can stay there for now.
Okay.
Actually,
the rest of you.
No, he is a thing of the dream realm. Yeah, no, he'll follow.
Okay. The master wills its beast companion to follow suit. The rest of you see Kivish and Tynan, the tar pony, fall over unconscious.
This is why you don't get high on morphine. That's dangerous.
Lykarr?
Is also where the name morphine comes from.
Yeah.
No, I
very well.
Lykarr, Noxiqual. Are you following your ally into the dream realm?
Who's going to pull us out if we all go?
Well, you, or at least Kivish, tried to wake up one of those acolytes, and the acolyte did not awaken.
Exactly. See, I feel like there's more to be done out here before we just go willy-nilly trust ourselves to some unknown god who could be not as benevolent as he appears. You know.
Okay, the Warlock has his misgivings. Lykarr, what about you?
Lykarr is borderlining on desperation. So Lykarr's going to take a leap of faith, and he's going to go.
Lykarr, you lay hands upon the statue. Pleasant healing radiates through your body. And then a drowsy sensation, a call. And the world around you swirls to black. The two of you find yourselves, Lykarr and Kivish, along with the pony. The two of you now find yourselves in a shrine. You arrive in a shrine of marble atop a great hill. Inside the shrine, there is a statue or some kind of silver owl. It is a pretty big sized owl. It's about the size of a person, or maybe almost the size of a man. It's made of silver feathers and eyes of amethyst. You can see through the temple, just glance to any side and you can just see beyond the columns. You are atop a great hill and you're in a landscape of high hills made of soft grass, of flower beds, of lush trees that bear a variety of fruits.
So we're on a high hill, possibly part of a high city or some sort of acropolis.
You see no other structures atop this hill.
Owl, often associated with wisdom, or perhaps the goddess of war and wisdom. So clearly there is some Athenian symbology here, so we must be in Georgia.
Lykarr, your friend is musing to himself and trying to deduce what has just happened. What do you think? What do you make of it?
Lykarr will try and talk to the owl.
Okay.
Who are you trying to talk to? Who?
Whom?
Who?
Who?
Whom?
Oh,
what do you say, Lykarr?
terrible jokes.
Basically, he gives I have an affliction and I am in need of curing. O great Morpheus, please cure me of my affliction, and I will spread the name of your word far and wide, that you will be known again.
Morpheus is like, sure, got insurance?
You say this to the owl, and the owl's head cocks. Its wing outstretches in a certain direction, and you hear a voice, but inside your own mind. Go that way. You will find him there in the glade.
Thank you. Off to the glade I go.
I don't know quite why, but I follow.
I will tell Kivish what well, he heard what I said, right? And then I say, the owl is telling me to go to the glade to Morpheus is over here.
Oh, well then I know exactly why I follow Lykarr.
Well, in the real world, I'd strip them of all their belongings and leave them naked on the floor.
Oh, never leave yourself unconscious with a pirate.
You would be surprised and possibly disgusted at the sheer number of my belongings you have to actually pick off of me as they're growing on me.
So you all in the dream realm traverse over hills. You actually travel for quite a ways. You go up and down these high-reaching hills. It is rather pleasant though, and you pass by numerous copses and flower beds, and there's plentiful fruits here. You see all sorts of berries and apples and citruses and pears and all kinds of things. Here and there you'll see a deer, a fox, some butterflies, a falcon overhead. You travel for quite some time. You would imagine it's about 6 miles that you travel. And you eventually find yourselves in a beautiful wooded glade. And there you find Morpheus. He is a tall and eerily handsome man with dark wings folded across his back. He lounges in the company of many people. are there. There's food, there is wine, there is music playing, people dancing, there's laughter, conversation. It is a tranquil haven of merriment and delight. You approach, and the god notices you. Awe flows through you as he speaks, but his voice really is rather gentle. Welcome, dear travelers. Peace be upon you.
Oh, great Morpheus, thank you for granting me an audience. Your name has been purged from the world by the evils that plague it. I am in need of healing. If you can heal me, I will become your follower, and I will reintroduce your name so that people may know of the goodness that you bring.
The god looks down upon you, considering your words. Give me your name, sweet pilgrim.
I am Lykarr Telvantis.
And you, dwarf?
I am Kivish of the clan Ursvamp of Norgal's Rock. Tell me, do you know one? He holds up a hand to vaguely humanish height and sort of points at his back and says, Earth is hollow and filled with bark. She is like you, I think.
You speak of one of the nymph queens. Long, long has it been since I have met one of her kind, or one of the swamp druids such as yourself. It pleases me to lay eyes upon one such as your kind again. I hope you will find my glades and groves to your liking. Please rest and enjoy the delights here in our endless spring.
In truth, I thought it would be far longer before I actually visited a dreamland like this. I am honored to be in your presence.
The god Morpheus then looks at Lykarr, and he looks right into your eyes, and he gazes at you, a long, lasting gaze, and it goes on for many minutes. And throughout this, you experience a number of sensations. You feel a sense of reconnecting with your inner self. You are very troubled. What is the affliction that you bear?
It is not me, it is my friend.
Yeah, he was looking at Lykarr.
Oh, he was. Okay.
Yeah.
The evil Mare Queen has put a beast inside me that grows, and I do not know how much longer I can fight it. And I will lift my shirt and I will show him the mark.
With regret, I must ask you to return to whence you came. Afflicted so, you are a threat to my precious realm. It saddens me to tell you this, but Amarantha's plague affected me greatly, and I have very little control over her nightmares. If only the pool of the Ambrosia Temple was still full, those waters I created in my days of highest glory.
Very well, I will return. But by chance, do you still have any of that water, or know where any of it still is before I go?
They will accompany you. And he gestures to a group of 3. They are the 3 temple acolytes. They're right there. They arise and they give their honors to Morpheus, and they come to your side and they take your arms and they say, "Come with us, we shall return you to the shrine. There is something that we would like to discuss with you."
Very well. I will bow and respectfully, and I will go with the alkaloids.
Morpheus bids you a fair farewell. Perhaps we shall meet again another day under more amenable circumstances. Good travels to you.
You will be always in my dreams. And in and out of character, that is a bit of a joke either way.
Morpheus offers you to stay, Kivish. Stay with us, dwarf. It would be a delight that I have you here in my company. Your tales would be a newness, a novelty to us here. We'd be most happy to hear what you have to say.
I am sure, but I am afraid to say not today.
Perhaps you would like to stay for but one meal. You must have traveled long and far. Some of the attendants there, or rather the worshippers, come to you. You see a man and a woman. Their hair is done in beautiful locks, and they come bearing like a platter with all sorts of delightful fruits.
But are these fruits organic? And if their hair is done so beautifully, is it even growing anything useful in it, or is it just sitting there, just bland hair without healing herbs just growing out of it?
They certainly have a perfumed scent that must certainly bear the finest of herbs. The woman offers you a bowl full of mixture of fruits, and the man offers you a horn filled with sweet-smelling wine.
Let's see, so I'm talking to a god, and he doesn't hate me, so in theory, there should be some way I can finagle a boon out of this. I'll ask how long said one meal would take, just to make sure it's not one of these, come play with us, Danny, forever scenarios.
I'll be right back. I'm just grabbing a drink.
Okay.
But yeah. Just to make sure I'm not, contractually obligated to stay for, 1,000 years of real-world time or something.
The affairs of Drakengrim are an endless spiral that I wish to no longer be a part of. I will not bind you here for all of eternity. You have your free will. I give you my word on that.
I would wish to get out of the closed-off circle of life down there as well, but
stay with us, Druid. You will find peace and rest and eternal bliss here in my groves and glades. You and your sweet horse are both welcome to stay.
Someday I shall. Yeah, he'll stay and eat some nice fruit and see what kind of sweet boon action he can get it on.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
Okay. See, that might actually be semi-decent. I'd be surprised if it is. No, that's only an 11.
Morpheus says, "You are an amusing one, and rest assured that my favor will be with you when you need it." He places his hand, upon your brow for a moment. There's a pleasant and warm sensation. Please remind me when you're using your inspiration. When you spend that inspiration, please remind me of this. Help me to remember.
All right.
Okay. The fruit is delicious. You are filled with euphoria upon eating it. You feel like there is a choir of angels singing from your mouth as you're eating and drinking the fruit of this divine glade. Are you sure you don't want to stay?
I cannot make such a commitment at this time. I have decided to take my talents to South Beach and will not be able to stay in the Dreamlands currently.
All right. So there are a great many people there. They're trying to get stories out of you. They try to get like news from Dreckengrim. They are all kind of like pressing you to stay, but you tell them that you have deeds that need to be met out, and you must accomplish some very important tasks. You must fulfill your destiny yet, and you take your leave.
I do promise that I might be able to bring some more people back with me when I do come to stay.
When you leave, it's been like 100 years.
Yes, that's what I was specifically making sure I wasn't getting into.
It wasn't 1,000 years.
Farewell, sweet traveler, and I hope to see you yet again, and all good company is welcome to join me here.
All right, you're saying it wasn't 1,000 years? It was just like, what, 999 years?
Yeah. Just remember, you can always come back. You just gotta take the good drugs to get you.
Lykarr, the acolytes that you are traveling with, they say, it is a shame that you cannot stay here. It is a finer place to live, and we have found contentment, rest for our souls.
Without doubt, it is. But,
this is the Lykarr. It's the Lykarr. These are the acolytes that are walking with you back to the shrine.
Lykarr is
I fear that the troubles in Dreckengrim grow ever more and more. There is no end to it. If the plight set upon us by the Merqueen were not enough, everyone seems to be squabbling endlessly amongst themselves. Greed is a poison which has corrupted the hearts of many. I'm sure you saw that the waters were no longer there.
I did. The well is dry.
They didn't just evaporate. These are divine waters created by Morpheus at the height of his majesty many, many centuries ago. But we were robbed. We were plundered over and over again. And Murklon's jaw is no longer safe. It is a desolate wasteland. It is a dangerous place. We had run out of food. There was nothing left for us to do. We found a way to commune with our God. And so here's where we stay and we find peace. Have you been already guests or visitors in Horncomb Lodge?
Aye, we have.
Those marauders stole the waters drop by drop, and their henchmen are treacherous. You would do well to stay clear of that place.
Well, if they possess the waters, then I very well may have to go back there.
Be very, very careful. I know that you and your allies seem to be capable sorts, but you're not the first capable sorts that tried to steal from those thieves. And who's to say what the waters are like outside the temple? The temple is one of the last places left in Dreckengrim where there is even any connection to the divine. Perhaps the waters turned to normal water and very well evaporated. Perhaps they were twisted and maligned. I don't know.
Perhaps they were. But I must try nonetheless, for my alternative is a grim fate.
The priest looks at you. I do not envy your situation. I've seen many an afflicted come through the Ambrosia Temple when I was much younger. Diseases, wounds, lame bodies, leprosy, curses even. And the healing waters of Morpheus cleansed them. I long for those days of my youth.
I hope everything that you say is true, for I will be going back to the Horncomb Lodge, where I will die trying.
The girl acolyte who is with the trio there, she says, I saw the mark on you, so if you are going to die, you should probably do it soon while that thing's still small.
Well, we will probably be going back there post-haste, so hopefully it doesn't get too much bigger in the round trip.
The boy says, if you are able to get the best of that bastard Maxwell Eck, tell him that Geoff sends his regards right before you punch what do you do?
Put a firebolt through his head.
Right before you fry his head off, tell him Geoff sends his regards.
Geoff, I will remember your name, Alkalite.
Geoff?
Matter of fact, I'm going to write it down on my notepad.
So
Okay.
are they snoring out here? Because I'll totally like rearrange them like to like be cuddling each other and like
As long as
awkward.
I'm the big spoon.
No, you want to be the little spoon.
I was about to say
Because the big spoon is the one that must receive all the farts.
you are the little spoon, but it's comical because he's a dwarf, so he's like a jetpack on you.
Those damn trail rations, I tell you.
Like, Kobe, help me. You have to get this done before they wake up in like 100 years.
All right. So the Druid, the Storm Sorcerer, and the Tar Pony are going to be waking up. 1 second. Okay. All right. The two of you plus the horse awaken. You find yourself back in the Ambrosia Temple, back in your bodies.
I look around to see what time of day it is.
Night has fallen.
So wait, I've been staying there all this time?
Yep. Did you want to abandon them?
Do I want to do what to them?
Did you want to abandon them?
I wanted to explore the temple a little bit, yeah.
Okay. So pause, and let's back it up a little bit. While they're slumbering, where exactly do you want to explore this temple here?
I would like to explore everything that there is. Like the water, where the pool was. Maybe there's a little bit of water left. If there isn't, can I try pouring a little water in there and then like seeing if it does anything to it?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
The pool is bone dry. There's a little bit of dust at the bottom. You pour some water in, and it's just kind of, glub, 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 splash, splash. No immediate effect, nothing apparent.
Okay. I will.
There is an entryway to a back chamber. Do you want to go there?
Yeah, let's go there.
Back there, you find a sept. It has private quarters of the priests or acolytes. It looks like somebody who would stay here. It's not, it's nothing that's opulent or well appointed. There's also a door, and beyond the door there are stairs heading downwards.
Of course there are. Kobe's coming with me, I assume.
Right behind you, Captain.
All right.
He's got his cutlass out.
Let's do a quick search of the room just to see if there's anything valuable, notes, journals, holy writings, whatever.
There are some writings. They're actually just like right out laying on top of
I can
of a small cabinet, and it talks about thieves and marauders have hit us again. There was an acolyte that went out into the Badlands to try to forage for food once their food stores ran out, and he didn't return. Looks like things got pretty desperate here.
How, like, I assume there's no dates or anything?
That they are dated, and they are dated from like 20 years ago.
Okay. That's like the latest is like 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, let's check out what's downstairs since, the others decided to go nap time.
Okay, you make your way down into an undercroft. You see there are 2 chambers, and it has that musty smell of death. The first chamber has a number of stone sarcophagi. Many of them are pretty basic, but there are a few others that are more, they have more decorum to them and seem to be the bodies of priests that were laid to rest long ago.
And I know that you told me that this place has some connection with the temple at the end of the world. Has that become apparent at all?
Nothing apparent. Nothing yet, no. There's another chamber, so the second chamber of the Undercroft. When you step into this one, you are hit with the rancid stench of decay. I'll leave it at that. You see other. Oh, actually, no, there are not the sarcophagi in this one. There are a number of people on the floor. Several people. A couple of them are old dried husks. One is a bloated and rotting body, and the others are, so there's like, say, 4 more that are alive but sleeping. There are 4 sleeping people. None of them are wearing acolyte's clothing.
And they're all kind of in the same general area?
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like a trap to me. Like sleeping gas or something, some sort of trap there. Poison. I'll look from where I'm
Kobe is like got his hand on your shoulder, like, "Oh, don't go in there, Captain. I don't trust it."
Yeah, I don't trust it either. I'm gonna look and see if I can notice anything with my eyes without actually going in and setting off what I believe to be a magical or non-magical trap.
Make a perception check.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a nat 20. +2.
You see nothing. Nothing that would seem like a trap trigger. No floor stones, trip wires, not even any little faint runes. So if there is something, it's very well hidden, or there's nothing.
Well, I mean, I'm as confident as I can be. I'll say, well, I suspect there's still something there. It's too much of a coincidence that they all fell asleep at the same spot. So I'll come back to this. I'm gonna go up and look around, see if I can find anything, references to Victial or
Victariel.
Victariel. Yep.
Okay, so you go back to looking through the scrawlings of the priest. You get his name out of it as well. It's in there. It is Cairo. Cairo Horton is the priest. He mentions the names of a few other acolytes, in particular a Geoff. You do see some entries talking about thieves, them finding more unconscious thieves near the statue. You keep looking through. There's a lot of scrawlings. You're not finding anything about Victariel. Make an investigation check.
Sure. Let's see. Investigation. Just a 9.
Okay. So you've got various pieces of parchment. His handwriting is not even the best. and you can't quite make out any further information that seems to be of interest to you. Again, kind of a desperate situation. There's thieves that were coming in, and they found the thieves unconscious by the statue.
All right. Well, thieves unconscious by the statue. The people weren't wearing acolytes robes down below.
Mm-hmm.
No mention of the Undercroft, though, in these notes.
There's a lot of notes. Probably your allies are going to be waking back up by this point. It's just impossible to read through everything.
That's fine. I spent the day just compiling information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a few things kind of going on here that you are picking up on, and you've done some discovery. Still a few unanswered questions, but a curious location. All right, so your party is all again conscious and awake, and in each other's company. So go ahead. What do you guys think? What's happening?
Oh, I hate afternoon naps that turn into sleeping longer than I intended.
Finally awake, are you?
Yes.
After the first few days that you would be not coming back from it.
I cut that out. I know I was not gone for that long.
How do you know that?
It points to the position of the sun.
Yes, the sun does that every day.
I'm going to relay to the party what was told to me by the alkaloids.
Interesting. So you had something you said about Geoff. Did you happen to meet a
Cairo
Horton?
Cairo was the priest that accompanied you, Lykarr.
Okay, well then I would say yes, I met him. And I also met Geoff. And they have very little love for
the Eck family at Horncomb Lodge.
Family.
Yeah. Also, Lykarr, you look down at the three sleeping people, and they are the three that are there in the dream realm.
Okay.
They look their slumbering selves look a little older than they did in the dream realm.
Should we move them to some place where they're not going to get potentially, I don't know, scuffed or otherwise damaged while sleeping?
I doubt that would do much good. They're either going to expire in their natural course of their life, or the god will protect them in his place of power here. But that's aside the point. So
I think they abandon their mortal bodies to be with their god, and they're not too concerned with their mortal bodies anymore.
Yeah.
They did seem content to be existing for eternity with Morpheus in his realm.
So outside the temple, are there any birds just flying around that could be easily caught?
Okay, so you do remember seeing a few birds as you're going through the area. Think of like a Badlands hawks, or maybe even a vulture. It's nighttime now, so there might be maybe some kind of owl out there.
All right. How easy would it be to catch one? Or actually, not to catch one, to talk to one.
Okay, so you're gonna go outside looking for a bird, right? Is that what I'm getting? Okay, so make a survival. Make a survival check.
All right.
I was going to discuss some things, but I guess he's busy bird catching.
Okay. 26.
26. All right. You will definitely be finding your owl. So he's out there. While it's going on, Lykarr and Nox.
Lykarr, there are things we should be discussing. For the X family, they stole the holy waters from here. Could be part of the reason of their strange youthfulness and such that goes on there, as well as the aging, the unnatural aging, when they get too far from the source of their magic water, perhaps.
Perhaps
But
that is aiding in the longevity of Lord Eck. He did seem beyond quite old.
indeed, and perhaps if what I remember of the daughters, if the water is held on the highest levels, perhaps its proximity is what keeps them from growing old, and that is why they possess it. But yeah, they bathe themselves in it and such, I think, is what was done. Still, should we go against them then and try to take this water back?
Perhaps. I am running out of time, so I have a little bit of desperation for myself. We may, it may force my hand.
Mm. It would be quite strange, though, for a father to tell his daughters to go with us to a faraway place if that is the only thing that is keeping them young.
Well, maybe it somehow spreads it.
Mm. There's something not quite that we're grasping there.
Yes, we are definitely missing some pieces of the puzzle.
I would not be opposed to going up against Eck for some arrangement of keeping some of that water.
Very well, then I guess we should definitely head back there and
Perhaps we should think through our options first, though. If we march right in and demand to see his water, I doubt we would make easy, no doubt we'd make easy sport for his guards, their bows and their crossbows and such. Perhaps we should come up with a plan. I hear that the cavers don't seem to like him very well. Perhaps we could find some sort of alliance there.
So out of character, yeah, we should certainly make sure that the people we were trying to free are freed, and use them as connections. The elf with her, I don't know, maybe magic, and the boy with his connection to the cavers, who presumably have larger numbers.
Maybe.
or perhaps we can use the trust that we have gained to our advantage.
Yeah, that too.
I suppose there's something to be said for a well-placed blade in the night, but there's something else here that you should both know about. There's undercroft back in the back room that leads down into some crypts. Looks like there may be some things down there that, well, there may be more to this temple than originally meets the eye.
Lykarr, do you have any interest in looking at the Undercroft?
Yeah, sure. We could go down there and take a look and see what's going on.
Okay. So you go back into the sept and then down the stairs. The first chamber of the Undercroft is strictly a crypt, and then the second chamber is a smaller and simpler room, and there are bodies on the floor. Specifically, there are two old husks, one rotting, rancid body, and then four others that are actually still alive and still sleeping. It doesn't take you too much looking to notice that you saw those people in Morpheus's realm, these sleeping people here.
Oh, I guess some of those people, the husks, have been up there with Morpheus for a long time.
And again, they're not wearing acolytes' clothing.
Are they wearing any specific clothing or just generic clothing?
They look like members of the Eck family.
Make an investigation check on that one. And in terms of what type of clothing, they are wearing loose, dark clothing.
16.
One of them does look like maybe he's related to X somewhere in there, just off of facial characteristics.
Yeah, probably plunderers of the temple who were afflicted. Sent on to Morpheus's dream realm, where they are left to languish here in the material world.
It's definitely a solid theory there. Lykarr, do you have any other interests or particular questions about this spot?
If I just go in and just do a search of the bodies to see if they have anything on them that would identify them, or
okay, go ahead. You step on in there. It smells pretty bad, so you might be like plugging your nose up a bit, and you go rifling through the sleepers. You find some different things. You find 2 sets of thieves' tools. You find a total of 3 daggers. You find a short bow and some arrows. You find a total of 9 gold pieces. You find some old dried out rations and some water skins that have they've gone, like the water's has completely evaporated out of them. You also, on the body of the one that Nox said has a vague resemblance, maybe could be an Ek, on him you find a key. It's like a small iron key.
okay, I think we're going to take that.
There are a few other, personal effects, small, minor things, nothing that would be unique and or identifying, but just minor, like travel gear someone might have on them. Do you want to take any of these items other than the key?
No, I can't really use most of the weapons, so I think we'll just stick with the key.
Okay.
And I'll see if any of them guys want to take anything.
Okay. I assume you pocket the coins as well.
Oh, yep. 9 gold pieces is 9 gold pieces. So
okay. Nox, do you have any interest in thieves' tools? What else might be on him? Maybe like a lantern and a little bit of oil, flint and steel, just real basic generic travel stuff.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Let's go outside.
All right.
The night is windy and cold. You're out and about, Druid, and in a short amount of time, you come upon a kind of small, lithe, cedarish, type of Badlands evergreen, and nestled up in one of the branches is a nice little owl, and he's up there.
All right. So I would like to attempt to, approach him gently and get a hold of him.
Do you have any kind of effects or any some kind of ability that would allow you to get up to an owl without it flying away?
Something like perhaps.
Are you just trying to sneak up on him? Or are you using some kind of druid skill?
Something like maybe offering him a bit of food, or just generally sort of. Actually, it can't understand druidic. Just approaching slowly and gently, maybe with a bit of food. Maybe sort of using my animal knowledge for being a druid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, make an animal handling check.
All right. Okay, cool. That is 14 plus 3 is 17.
17. Okay. The owl sees you. It does not fly away, but it does not come up to you. It just, its head just kind of does that owl rotating thing. It's got those big old eyes, and it's just like looking down at you. You're all gentle and offering some food. So, what do you think? This thing seems a bit suspicious of an approaching person, but you, with your way that you have at least stayed its flight.
So I give it the food.
You just set it on the ground?
I mean, I hand it to the owl. Or, yeah, actually, yeah, to get it to fly to me. Yeah.
All right. You set the food on the ground. The owl just keeps looking from up there on the tree branch. Just eyes, just gazing down. It seems pretty reluctant, as most wild animals would be.
All right. I would like to cast a spell, if that's the case. Let me look up the exact effects of it.
While he's doing that, I will be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. While he's looking up that, Nox and Kobe. So Kobe's kind of like doing what he can to help. He's saying, the population of Horncomb Lodge is at least 1,000, maybe more than that, maybe 1,500. It's kind of like a village, but a decent-sized village. He saw some guardsmen. Yeah, there's a few guardsmen there. There's some strong guys. The Lord can probably summon up a militia, so wouldn't make a lot of sense for a direct assault on them.
No. If we were going,
what are you thinking? We're gonna sneak up in there and chop their heads off in their sleep?
Well, I do think that the wedding provides us a good entrance into the upper levels potentially, if we, have a wedding night, to speak.
Mm-hmm.
The cavers, if we could convince them, could provide a good distraction. But yes, we have to approach this as a theft rather than a conquest.
Mm-hmm.
We're pirates, not, mercenaries.
We're not an army, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Make a history check about the cavers.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Let's see. History is the same as my others. Alright. Oh, where'd that die go? That one's like... There's a nat 20 behind the screen.
Hooty hoo. Okay. So they would properly be known as cave clans, and there are a few clans that dwell in the mountains and canyon ridges of Merkelon's Jaw. By most civilized folk, they would be called barbarians. They would not refer to themselves as such. Obviously a simpler lifestyle, maybe a bit of a harsher lifestyle, not as much sophistication and administration to their way, but a strong and proud people.
Nothing wrong with barbarians.
Their numbers are not large numbers. So, if you were just theorizing it, if we could rally the cave clans together and unite them and then make an assault upon, convince them to make an assault upon Horncomb Lodge, they might be able to sack the village and take it over. It would be a bloody battle,
Yeah.
And the tides of battle can go either way. They might lose. And so
That's the problem. I don't like plans that have even the chance of loss.
yeah, it's not like you've got, uh, the Dothraki horde that's just going to storm in there and stampede them all to dust. It'd be a pretty bloody battle, and of course, Horncomb would have some amount of advantage due to their structural defenses. But who knows? Maybe the cave clans could provide some sort of benefit or assistance in another way. Kivish, what do you got on your druidic conjurings over there?
All right, so yeah, he's gonna pull out his druidic focus and cast as a ritual. Speak with animals.
Okay, so you produce this druidic ritual, and by which by the completion of this, you are able to commune in the tongue of owls. Ooh, 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 whoa, food. I don't trust you, but I want food. Woo!
I have payment in the form of food. I need you to do something for me.
I want food. Yes.
I promise it will not bring you any undue harm if you are careful. I need you but to transfer a message.
Woo! Food.
I give it a piece of something, maybe a bit of eel jerky or something like that.
First, make a persuasion check.
Okay. And of course it gets stuck. There we go. Ooh, 18 plus some things. So that is... My charisma's not great. This is an 18. Yeah, flat.
18. Okay. You toss up a piece of eel. The owl snags it, gulps it down. It seems pretty happy about that. And you probably have to repeat yourself a few times, ever simplifying your command until you just kind of get the basic idea into this owl's head that you give thing that is not food and it take that thing to another place.
Right.
And so it's just kind of like,
yeah,
food. Okay, I do. Right. It's like, give me the food and I'm on board to fly somewhere with the thing.
So the instructions are: it take thing north until green lady take thing from it. And then I'm gonna pull out a small piece of birch bark and a bit of charcoal and write a message, something to the effect of Brecca. The Ambrosia Temple is very important, even more so than I thought. Make sure it is safe no matter what, and beware the House of Eck and their treacheries. We may need you in the coming battle. And I'm going to tie it, and I believe I think I said to her when I last saw her something like a message accompanied by a spruce twig and a rowan berry, so I'm going to like tie those to the thing, to the owl's leg, and set it on its way.
Very well. So the owl gobbles down the offering of food, picks up your scrawlings there with its talons, and flies off into the night. Well done.
All right, I'm going to go back in the temple and talk to the other guys.
Excellent. You reconvene with your allies. By this point, you all, I would say, have earned half a milestone through skill, investigation, and story-based role-playing. I'd say
really
I'd say meeting with a god and doing some other miscellaneous investigations are meriting a little something.
I just find it funny. You guys are half a milestone from leveling.
Yep.
That is true.
It's the most frustrating thing. It's like, I'm 10 XP away. You got Yep. Me, I've got like 3.5 to go, so I'm in no rush.
All right, so we're discussing plans about what to do with those pesky X, aren't
we? Myself and Lykarr had been making some plans while you were off hooing into the darkness.
I think the House of Echo do something to angry god.
It sounds to me like your god is off in some dreamland enjoying his retirement.
I have no one god, but yes, he is.
It seems like he cares little what is done in this realm, but his gift that was left over here, that is for mortals, do with as they will, and sounds like these mortals just were a little bit more enterprising in taking over his gift.
Yeah, and it did seem like it was a series of raids and thefts over time, and just whittled them down. They also spoke of dangers, like ever-growing dangers in the Badlands. So poor them. But in the land of dreams, or at least in Morpheus's realm, they can have their sweet reminiscings on better times bygone, and then go back to sort of their dignified leisure and resignation.
So, really, what it comes down to is what are we more concerned with here? Righting the wrong that was done? Nah. Or getting our hands on that precious holy water?
I am concerned with restoring this place to what it is good for doing, and ensuring that people like the X cannot do so in the future.
That's not going to happen. Restoring this place, what's to stop someone like the X coming in here and just stealing it all over again? This place has no guardians, has no one that cares for it.
Yeah. What am I thinking? Lykarr. Yeah, Lykarr can tell you a little bit more because he had a whole conversation. It was like a 6-mile walk back to the shrine. And so there used to be some better guardians here, but they got taken out. Like they got ganked. And by this point in time, the priest Cairo, yeah, he's just kind of like dumping all the blame onto the Eck family. And you're just totally taking it at his word. But yeah, it seems like whatever protection, like people, guardians, soldiers, or maybe priests that could defend it, they got taken out by the raiders.
So why not this then? Can't be guarded here. This temple is no longer a fit place for it, but clearly it can be moved, can be taken from here. Why not we take it ourselves and find a more suitable place for it, somewhere out in the world where, for a small profit, we might allow some to benefit from its healing waters, rather than in some inhospitable place that you can't even reach.
So out of character, Kivish is definitely going to try and obtain as much of it as he can to move back to the swamp and store somewhere safely. And if that means you not being able to profiteer off of all of it, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Sure, out of character, you can try whatever you want to try in character.
Yeah.
Just have to see how it goes.
Yeah. All right.
What is Lykarr thinking? So I know Lykarr is getting pretty desperate. So it seems like the Great Lodge is where they're holding the holy water. Do you want to try to find a way to steal it back, kill them and take it back, trick them? What are you thinking?
Well, Lykarr, if he takes the priest at his word, then the X are the bane of all evil in this area. I'm definitely going to go back, and if I can steal it, I do have invisibility. Invisibility can come in quite handy.
Mm-hmm.
I can if I can go up and see what's going on. If it is true what they say, then maybe we could formulate a plan from there.
Mm-hmm. From what was indicated by Morpheus, the pool needs to be refilled, and it should be just fine at that point. who knows? Maybe you can try, if you can like sneak into wherever the water is, the pool at the X lodge, bathe in it there. Maybe it will work. Maybe not. Maybe it'll have some weird effect because they've got some strange aging back and forth age variation going on.
Yeah, that piece of the puzzle there was, I was trying to think about that the whole time, because there was definitely more to that than met the eye. So
yeah, inside the Ambrosia Temple, it's obvious that Morpheus still holds power. I mean, it's Morpheus himself is there on the throne. He's turned to practically stone by this point, but he exists and his power exists within the bounds of the temple. When you go out of that, you're back in Dreckengrim as it is nowadays, which is a weird existing partially inside the dream realm of the Merqueen. So who's to say what exactly that water is doing now?
Well, I think plan A should be to at least get back to the lodge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we can go from there.
So is the main idea to still have the wedding, to make it a big ceremony, and then while the ceremony is going on, try to make off with the entire pool's worth of water, or just a bit of the water?
Point of order, how much longer are we going? Just because I feel like this would be a good point to kind of stop on and think a little bit on what our next steps are, so that we can.
That's a very good call. So we can discuss this outside of actual live session, because it seems like it's a complex enough situation that no one's ready to just be like, "This is our plan. Let's hit it now." You want to kind of brew on it for a little bit.
I'd like to consider a couple alternatives to the plans, just because you never know, someone might have a brilliant idea.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. And of course, in the world, and the characters themselves inside the fantasy world, they would have some time. I mean, even if they left the next morning, you're still walking for about 3 days back to the Horncomb Lodge. So there would be some thinking that could be done. The Kivish as well has sent word to Brecca.
Yes,
so that's
a powerful ally.
We'll see what might become of that.
Yeah.
Oh, the webs you weave there, Esper.
Indeed, many a web is woven. Do we want to wrap it up for the night, or do you guys want to do like an encounter walking back? What are you feeling?
If he's tired, he's going horizontal there. So,
Warsor, are you drifting into the realm of Morpheus?
I can rally myself. Don't worry about me. I've just like midnight would be my limit on where I'd want to, try to get some sleep.
Well, we can call it then.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's just like I'm normally down for an encounter, but I'm feeling tired.
So we'll wrap things up there. Thank you guys very much again for participating. The plot is really thickening, and now I'm very interested to see what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of ideas which I need some time to consider, because Sandbox is always
Great. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure, and I'll look forward to our discussion, our private chat discussion about the campaign and everything that we're going to be doing next time.
Me too.
All right. Have a great night, guys, and I'll talk to you real soon.
Oh, one last thing. We'll go off the air first.
Off there? Okay, great. Thanks, everybody.